So I don't think we need to talk about that. Although, how many times am I gonna keep on saying that until I just accept my schedule is just unorthodox, to say the least? But in all fairness, I did have a project I was working on over the winter that went bust, and now I'm a whole big video short. As a result, I've decided to make this little video to keep y'all appetized until bigger and or more conventional videos are finished in the oven. Plus, I get to talk about audio tech, so plugins! We all own way too many of them. Best part about being an adult is that I have the autonomy to buy things online with my own card. It's also the worst part. Still, having said that, there is some genuinely cool stuff that can be got from the plugin world. And in the end of the video, you get to see just how much I spent on all these plugins too, so look out for that. Now, I know some of you are not the biggest plugin purchasing fans and may dabble in what I'll call extracurricular activities. But I personally don't, because A, I'll probably be working on music applications for my career, and so customers like I am right now will be paying the company for the plugin while also technically be paying for my bills. And number two, I'm a big advocate of, if it ain't worth the money, just don't use it. If it really ain't worth the value for the price, there's probably a cheaper version out there for you that is worth its price. But with that out the way, here's all the plugins I got in 2025. It should be noted that I'm not counting free plugins here, and even if I was, the free plugins I got have been out for way longer, with the exception of Chippo by none other than the siren of YouTube herself. And while this plugin is a bit of a novelty one, it looks cute and it fits the vibe of an Emily Hopkins design and plugin in general. Like, I can see this plugin coming from Emily Hopkins. It was also developed in conjunction with the team at Cycling74, aka the Max people, and also had a UI developed in Juice, so good job, Juice. That's the free plugin out of the way. Here's all the stuff I actually bought. I bought most of my plugins off of Plugin Boutique, and if you know anything about them, then you'd know that they give away free plugins for every purchase you make. And so I got a few plugins technically for free with my purchase of other plugins. So really a buy one get one free type of deal. These plugins include Massive by Native Instruments, which I don't really think needs an introduction, the Mooga Fogger, the Moofu MF103S 12-stage phaser, which is supposed to be an emulation of the Moog MF103 of a similar name, not so similar price, and the Galaxy Tape Echo Delay, which I'm still getting used to, but have started to really like the sound it gives off. I still have to experiment with it for the full range of sound and possibilities, but so far, I'm liking what I hear. And that's it for the technically free plugins. Yeah, we've come all this way without spending a single pound. I made this video to talk about my addiction, but like maybe I'm not that broke after all. Alright, so first off the list, we got the UAD Studio Classics bundle. And I have yet to use all the plugins in this bundle. This is gonna be a little bit of a theme, not for too much of this video, but for at least a good percentage of plugins I got. So it's kind of hard to review what all of them do and what my opinion on all of them are, because I haven't used all of them all that much. This bundle included the 175B and 176 tube compressors, the Pultec Passive EQ Collection, the LA6176 channel strip, the Fairchild Tube Limiter Collection, comprising the Fairchild 660 and 670 compressors, and the Ampex ATR 102 Master Tape plugin. While I haven't used most of them, I will say off the bat that I do like the tube compressors. I don't know that much about the Fairchild or the Passive EQ, and the Ampex I've dabbled in recently, but I'm still getting used to what I can get out of it. But as for the one plugin that did entice me to buy this whole bundle, is the Lexicon 224 Digital Reverb. Now this is fire. All the time I just plop it on the track and it already does like 90% of the work for me. Maybe turn the mix down a little bit, but that's it. And because of that, there is actually a lot more I could probably explore with it, But just in general, this reverb just sounds so warm and fuzzy and tingly. I don't know how to describe it, but it just fits something like a guitar or a vocal so well. Something that other reverbs I use just can't nail. And not to say those other reverbs aren't good, they have their place and they have their vibe. But if the feel was for a more retro sounding, warm, maybe Stranger Things, I don't know if that's like a controversial topic right now, but this is a damn good reverb for that application. That's it for the first purchase. We're only £54 down. Oh, we're getting more Moog, huh? This is another bundle I got just to get 3 things. With one thing, I don't care about at all. Motion Fractal is a granular synth I've had my eye on for a while. Y'all know I like granular synths, and this one seemed very interesting to me. It has a hexagonal interface where you can explore the setting and the gradients you've created to create a live difference to the sound. Meanwhile, if you get the full version, which I did, you have even more fine-tuning of what you want the grains to sound like. It's very straightforward and pretty easy to use, and as someone who likes the synthesis of grains but can empathize with how complicated they can get, this plugin is a good middle ground. Gives you a lot of options, but doesn't overwhelm you just too much. There might be some cheaper alternatives, but I don't own them, and this one, it's alright. It's alright. Now for the Moogas, or the Moggers. Does Moog sound bad? We got the MF101S low pass filter and the MF108S cluster flux, which is a flanger and a chorus kind of mixed into one. Honestly, the low pass filter is cool, but I mainly wanted the flux out of the two. And the flux does not disappoint in some lush sounding flanges. It works especially well on guitars, which was really a nice surprise. What wasn't a nice surprise was the fact that the chorus doesn't really work well on guitars, which, I mean, maybe I should have done more research on it, but it does work kinda nice on the synth. It's not that chorus that you might expect from, I don't know, a Mac DeMarco, but it has its own kind of weirdo vibe to it that you can maybe apply to certain things. Oh yeah. I made a little section of just kind of hating on this drum machine plugin, and I thought that was kind of unfair because, well, I haven't even used it to really hate on it, but at the same time, I just really didn't care for it when I bought the bundle. It wasn't the reason why I bought the bundle. There was nothing in the drum machine didn't really have anything that pulled me towards it. I just wanted the other 3 plugins. That's it. I'm not gonna hate on it. I've never used it, so I think that's unfair to hate on it, but I just didn't really care about it that much. Okay, let's move on to the other heavy hitter, the Mini Moog Emulator. This is another Universal Audio plugin. I swear I'm not sponsored, but I could be if you're watching. And well, it's just the Universal Audio Mini Moog plugin. It sounds about as accurate as you can get on a digital emulation of an analog synthesizer. And so if you do want to explore this plugin, I'd suggest doing some research on the actual Mini Moog and seeing how that was used. Honestly, I don't really see emulation plugins as something that needs to be faithful to the original, because I'm more interested in if the sound that comes out of it is actually, well, good. If you emulate trash, it's just gonna sound like trash. I didn't care if the lexicon was accurate, it just sounded good and I like it. But this is a little bit different. One of the prime examples being that this synth is in fact monophonic, just like the original. And the front panel is very similar to the front panel of the actual synthesizer. The Mini Moog itself came out in the early 70s. It's very influential on what we have now, but it's kind of a far cry from what we do have now, if that makes sense. And so I think this is a good history piece to learn from, not just use as a VST. And when you do learn about it as well, you also can learn how to use it better and know some of the hidden techniques you could probably use on your Mini Moog emulator. And now, I would wrap things up, but I did technically get some other plugins for free, but money was spent on them. That's right, I got plugins for Christmas because my family knows way too much that I'm a music nerd, so I got 3 plugins actually. One of them was really the upgrade from Motion Fractal Lite to the full version, which is why I now have it. The second one being Melodyne Essential, which I don't think needs much of an explanation. And for the final plugin, we got Expand 2, which was on sale on Plugin Boutique, but unfortunately went up to about £40 when my dad got it for me. Actually, he was the one that got me that one. And I feel bad because I'm not really liking this plugin. It's essentially a preset and is a bass plugin used for Pro Tools, which is why you'd hear some of the presets being used in a lot of popular songs over the past few decades. And yet, despite that, I'm hard pressed to find things that actually fit anything I'm making. Maybe I need to give it more love and time. I'll learn how to stack the presets better together. But if you are thinking of buying Expand 2 as it is a classic, I would say hold off until it drops to its cheaper range, because you just might not like what you get from it. I'm not going to count these plugins in the pricing because they were plugins I got in 2025 and I felt like I should add them, but I technically didn't pay for them, so. But as for the final plugin I got from last year, which actually I think I technically got this year, but it still feels like last year because when I got it, it was so close to last year anyway. So we're so close. It was Amigo. I got Amigo VST. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is another banger. This is a sample plugin based on the Amiga sampler and trackers of the like to give that retro 8-bit sample sound, especially if you're into early rave and techno textures. It's so easy to drag and drop in a sound and already have something you like. Not to mention it looks fire, and it's only a tenner, although I was charged like £2 on tax, so I guess technically 12. In my opinion, it's one of the best plugins I got from last year. It's so simple but effective at giving samples that ethereal digital sound and chopping up head-spinning breaks. To tally up all that was spent on plugins, I spent £126 on plugins, which might not sound like a lot, but it is a must remember that, well, 2 things really. I did buy these plugins over the course of like 2 months. I really didn't buy these until like the end of last year. This really could have been called my winter 2025 plugin haul technically, but you know, that's why I add in a whole other word when you don't really need to. But it's also a must remember that sometimes my wage is about like £500 to £700 for my part-time. So that's like at least 1/7 of my income. But alas, I think I'm good on plugins for now. If you can't tell already, there's still so much I have left to discover from these plugins, so I don't really need any new ones. And I'm gonna keep on telling myself that, and I'm gonna keep on telling myself that, and I'm gonna keep on telling myself that, and I'm gonna keep telling, I don't need any more, I do not need any more. That's it for me for now though. A more educational video is in the works, so look out for that. But if you want some extra content, you can always check out my Patreon. I haven't ranked any of these plugins, but if I had to, these would be the S tier plugins, and the others are like, well, I didn't know, I didn't rank them until now.